Sup everybody, it's Dragon Ball for Life here. Today I'm back with another video. In this video I want to explain, Hakai energy slash, Ultra Ego. Now, Ultra Ego is kind of a new concept that's been introduced in Dragon Ball. It's kind of a concept that I guess was hinted at and shown a little bit prior to, Vegeta achieving it through, Beerus. Which is basically just the God of Destruction's energy when they fully unleash their power. And it's quite interesting if you think about it. Now, this past couple of weeks, I've been watching some YouTubers who have been reacting to, Dragon Ball Super. And there's one YouTuber particularly, they finished Dragon Ball Super, but I've been watching a couple of their videos, and I was watching the fight between, Topo and Vegeta when Topo, went to his God Destruction mode. And it made me realize something specifically about, Ultra Ego. And I'm going to talk about it a little bit later, but I want to talk about the Hakai energy as a whole, because the way to achieve, Ultra Ego, you have to do it by obtaining Hakai energy, which is God Destruction energy, and that is literally linked with Ultra Ego, because without that you can't really obtain Ultra Ego. So Vegeta does have a bit of God Destruction energy in him, obviously not to the level of Beerus yet, but he still has it in him, and it seems like anybody can achieve it as long as they have the single-mindedness of thinking of just purely destruction and have a certain level of power and still focus on it. And though he does have the godly power, so I guess that also helps him out with it. Since, he has Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan Blue, so that should probably help him out with it. But I think it's a little more to it. So I want to go and explain in depth on these stuff. So to do that, we have to go through some of the chronology of Hakai energy itself. Now, the first time we get any real showing of Hakai energy was actually not in the Battle of God Saga. You would assume that the fight between Goku and Beerus, you would see the Hakai energy. We do see some, I guess, glimpses of it, but we don't see the full magnitude or really go in depth with it, because that entire fight between Goku and Beerus was holding back so significantly that he wasn't really using his true power. So that Hakai energy, even though it has the same color as Beerus's aura, which is purple when he powers up, it doesn't mean specifically that, that is the power that he was, using, because Goku, I think he was just using his natural energy. I think the Hakai energy is a different energy reserve than the regular, even godly energy. I think you can have godly energy and not have Hakai energy, obviously, like Goku and Vegeta with Super Saiyan Blue. And I think when they go into that mode, they're going into a certain mindset that unlocks that power. Beerus, when he goes on mindset, he's going to a full destruction mindset. Whereas when he was fighting as Goku, he was going more into, I guess, like a master's mindset, where he was trying to teach Goku along the way and trying to, test his powers out. He wasn't trying to openly just downright destroy him. I think the only times we had somewhat of a confirmation of the Hakai energy in that fight was when Goku and Beerus' attacks collided, and it was going to destroy the universe, and he was able to nullify it. I think that's when he used it. Obviously, he said he used 100% power. We know that might not be the case. I don't think it was true that he used 100% of his power. I think, once again, it was just him bolstering for Goku's sake, to make him feel like he accomplished more and was able to push him further. But I don't think specifically that that he technically did use 100%, because I think if he did, he would have to go and use Hakai energy on top of that to obtain it. So we didn't really see then. We do see a little bit of a glimpse of it and what it can do, and how how powerful and dangerous it can be in the Goku Black arc, when Zamasu tried to attack Goku and he caught his hand and did the Hakai attack where he obliterated him. That was a literal technique from that energy itself. So this does have something to pertain to Hakai energy, which also connects to Ultra Ego. So this is all intertwined. So it really matters to go on this step by step to understand fully how it works. And there's some ideas that I formed in my own head from just looking back at it. Now, he used this technique and it basically obliterated him, and they explain to us the what's so special about this and why it's so impressive. Because if you are to be hit with these energy attacks or hit by with Hakai energy, it doesn't just destroy its opponents, it literally wipes it out of existence. So we see the insane power of it. When he did it to Zamasu was basically wiped out of all timelines in existence and stuff. And he said that even though the Dragon Ball timeline goes off of alternate timelines, instead of of you go change something in the past then the future changes, it branches out another timeline. But which would basically mean no matter what you do, if you're affected, you're just going to create another timeline, and it's not going to affect those. But when it comes to Beerus' power and when he uses Hakai attack, it doesn't matter about that. It goes through all branches of timelines. It wipes them all out. Now, obviously, Zamasu did survive, but that was only because of the time ring that Goku Black had. He even explains that it basically formed a time bubble around him that put him outside of time. So I guess kind of like he became a time paradox with that. So he was outside of time, so it didn't affect him. So technically, there is a way to, avoid the whole complete erasure thing if you do have a time ring, which would put you outside of time itself. But without that, I think it doesn't matter who you are, you will be wiped out of existence. So that is a very OP ability, because normally when Dragon Ball characters are fighting, they're dying and then they go to heaven. But if they die again in heaven, then they will get wiped out of existence. Now, it has been established in the rules that if you get wiped out of existence, the Dragon Balls can bring you back. But now that they introduce, the Super Dragon Balls, technically that doesn't really matter. But it's still impressive in ability to be able to wipe somebody out of all of existence and all realities. Though I will say, it makes sense for why Goku Black survived. But why the hell did the Immortal Zamasu survive? Because last time I checked, I didn't see him wearing a time ring at all. Maybe this is, maybe this might have been an inconsistency when it came to the writing. I wouldn't put it past them. It does seem like something that would be small, but yeah, technically that would mean that Immortal Zamasu would have been wiped out, because I didn't see him with a time ring at all. If he did have it, then that would have made sense, but he didn't show to have a time ring on. But also on top of that, I mean, some people might say, well, he's immortal, but remember, he got wiped off of existence by Zeno, because it doesn't matter if he's immortal, you can still get erased. We see this after when Beerus did it in the little, I guess you can say, fillerish episodes or arc with, what's her name? Arale, when she came in, and there was that ghost guy, and he literally wiped him out with a technique. Though, I'm going to be honest, I wouldn't, him wiping out a ghost with it is not implausible, but I do consider those episodes filler. I know they don't go by manga standard or whatever, but let's be honest, Arale and their world is not compatible with Dragon Ball's world. It's just completely different, so it doesn't make any sense. But whatever. So that happened, and then we see this later on when the Tournament of Power is starting, and the Universe 9 God of Destruction, I think his name was Cedar, was trying to eliminate Universe 7's combatants and trying to take out Goku and Frieza. He sent a bunch of assassins, and Frieza's wiping them all out. There's this one doll guy who has this Hakai attack and throws it at Frieza. Frieza dodges the first time, but that was a decoy. He had another one, throws it, and it hits him with a target. But Frieza doesn't die. He doesn't get obliterated. He's able to use his strength to condense the energy attack and then throw it at Goku. And Goku nearly got obliterated until Beerus stepped in and blew it away and destroyed it. Now, a lot of people use this as saying that, well, this shows that Frieza is either stronger than the God of Destruction of Universe 9, which I think is a ridiculous claim to make. And also says that, oh, you can overcome Hakai, Destruction Energy, whatever. But I think what people don't understand is, and this, I can understand why they don't understand this. They don't really go in depth in explaining it. But him being able to, control that energy and get it off of him, I don't think that's the same Hakai, attack. I think people need to understand that when you go into this form, it doesn't matter what you do. They all have the same property, and that's the property of wiping things out of existence. Because people are like, well, this attack is stated to wipe, wipe the person out of existence like the other Hakai technique. But I think there's different types of technique. I mean, just the energy alone can do that. So that would mean that there was no need for a technique. Would there be? I want to go into that because I do think people misconstrue and make Frieza sound a lot more powerful than he actually is. Where I don't agree with those overly crazy statements. Also, it makes the Hakai attack itself seem a lot weaker than what it would be. Let me get into explain what I mean. I think those are two separate things, but have the same properties because that's just Hakai energy, how it works. Look at the difference between it. When Beerus did it to Zamasu, it was not an energy attack or anything. He just held his palm out, and you see his body turning to like light particles and completely like dispersing and disappearing, you know? Whereas the other one was just an energy attack that took time over to obliterate him. And we do see this later on with Toppo when he's fighting against Frieza and he's trying to obliterate him and stuff. So I think it depends on the technique. The technique that Beerus used was literally had no energy ball to it, and it would just instantly, you know, without anything physically wipe them out. Whereas that one was a physical attack where you could overcome and, you know, stop it. So the specialties to it, I think this is just for all the energy attacks that use Hakai energy. So it doesn't mean it's the same thing just because it has the same property to it. But yeah. I think the technique that Frieza got hit with is a different one than the one that Beerus hit Zamasu with. I think the one that Zamasu got hit with is a lot more potent and a lot more dangerous than that one, because his one, you can't really prevent it, you can't stop it. Once you get hit by it, you're going to get obliterated by it. Whereas the energy attack, it is just an energy attack. I think it's just an energy ball, but unlike regular ki blast, it can wipe you out of existence. But he overcame it and threw away. And also, let's be honest, it was stated that he gave him a bit of his energy. It's not like he gave him all of his energy. It was a bit of it. And the other guy did waste a couple of them as decoys and use the real one. So it might have been even weaker. But even just going on to it, and I don't want to harp on this for too long, but I just think that the one is an actual technique and the other one is just an energy attack. And the only reason they have the same property is because that's how naturally Hakai energy, how it works. So I don't think that he took the Hakai attack. If Beerus or Cedar did the same technique that Beerus did to Zamasu, he would have been obliterated. The only reason they didn't was because he couldn't go over to the other universe without breaking any rules and, you know, by wiping them out. So he did it the sneaky way, though using that technique that way isn't as effective. And Goku didn't withstand it. Beerus, if he didn't come in, Goku would have probably been obliterated. But yeah, I don't think Frieza is stronger than the God Destruction of Universe 9. I don't think he's stronger than Cedar. I don't think he can handle the Hakai energy attack. I don't think you can just overcome it like that. I think there's different aspects to it, and this is why it gets a little confusing to some people. Now, after this, we get into the Tournament of Power, and this is where we get a full-on glimpse of what Gods of Destruction energy can do in a far more weaker sense, because let's be honest, Toppo is nowhere near the level of any of these other Gods of Destruction. He's just a small example of what somebody who is even not as powerful as them, if he goes into this form, how powerful he gets. Because Toppo, he was powerful in the Tournament of Power, obviously, but the difference between his level of power when he was, you know, regular Toppo to when he was God Destruction Toppo was significantly higher, showcasing that going into the form, just like any other transformation, makes you far superior and stronger, but also it gives you the abilities to wipe out anything out of existence, not only through sheer attacks, but even through his energy alone, because he was walking through the, you know, the kachin, and it was obliterating it. So it showcases an insane level of property and power to it. And he was beating up Frieza, and once again, he didn't obliterate Frieza because Frieza was able to hold off his own enough, and he did get saved, so he wasn't obliterated, but he would have been obliterated. Also, I don't think Toppo knows the technique that Beerus did. If he did, he would have just instantly been able to wipe him out. But then again, that would have technically made him lose, and he would have been eliminated. But yeah, going into that, he did that, and it's quite interesting because people haven't mentioned the fact that he went into this form, so technically he would be the first person that we see in the series not only, you know, fully going into God Destruction energy mode, but also the first one to showcase Ultra Ego. It just wasn't named back then. So technically, Vegeta wasn't the first person that was shown using Ultra Ego. It was Toppo. Obviously, theirs look a little bit different, but that's because I think their race and their design. But Toppo technically had Ultra Ego in his ability. So if we want to learn more about how Ultra Ego works or how significantly powerful it makes a character, just look at Toppo. He's a perfect example of it. Some might not consider it or not understand, but technically he was using it because what is Ultra Ego? It is the mindset of a god of destruction where it's solely focused on destruction alone. And that a thought of destruction alone, with already the high level of energy and the godly energy mixed into it, unlocks this Hakai energy, which is a part of, the Ultra Ego form. And this Ultra Ego form, basically, now they get far stronger. They obtain some power of the god of destructions. They have the ability to wipe out anything out of existence. And as shown by Vegeta, they get stronger the more they get hurt. They didn't show this much with Toppo, but I think this is either this is something that the manga is adding on, because the manga and the anime are two different things. We just haven't seen it happen in the anime, so we don't know what direction they're going with that. But also, I just think that sometimes the writers in Dragon Ball, Toriyama used to be the writer, but now it's Toyotaro for the manga. But I think just Toriyama and Toyotaro are not the type of person to 100% plan ahead. They just go along as it goes. So they'll change it and fluctuate their ideas as it goes. And this one isn't really a retcon too much. It's just that it wasn't really stated when Toppo did it compared to Vegeta. Because Vegeta, when he was getting hit, he was saying, "You're just making me stronger." Whereas Toppo, he never stated in that, but it's obvious that he's also going into Ultra Ego form. So, yeah. Great thing about him is it showcases what it can do. That, yes, is it strong? Yes, does it give you incredible power? Does it give you these crazy abilities? Yes, but it still has limitations, and especially from somebody who doesn't have full mastery of it. Because Toppo didn't have a full mastery of it, Vegeta doesn't have a full mastery of it. I do think that Toppo has a far better mastery of Ultra Ego than Vegeta does, because he was in that level a lot longer and obtained it before. So yeah. But yeah, this Ultra Ego is quite interesting. It not only has that, but I think the most interesting thing is the more damage it takes, the stronger it gets. And some people I heard complaining like, well, if he has that, then how did he get defeated and stuff? And this is the kind of annoyance that I have with the Dragon Ball fan base. They think just because these characters have these powerful abilities that there's going to be a no-limit fallacy and they can do whatever the hell and they can't stop. And it was like, if that's the case, then there would be there'll be no threat or danger to them. And people debating do that all the time. But the Dragon Ball fans sometimes get a little too crazy. Like when Goku obtained Ultra Instinct, they're like, well, this means nobody can ever touch him, and then he has perfect defense. Here's the thing. It is his perfect defense, but if he's against an opponent, even if he doesn't have that ability, if he's against an opponent that's far faster than him and still knows how to use it in a fight, he's still going to be getting hit. He's still not going to be able to evade all the attacks. All it does is eliminate the response time that it needs from from you seeing it and to your brain, and then the signal sent to your body. Goku's body naturally reacts to it without even having to see it, and without there having to be any electrical signals passing through his body, meaning that he can move at his maximum speed, maximum reflex speed, but still it would be limited. So yeah, Ultra Instinct should still be able to be hit, even in mastered form. It shouldn't be making him the fastest creature of all of existence. It just makes him as fast as Goku could possibly be at any given moment when he has his max power. And they do this now with Ultra Ego, saying, "Oh well, Vegeta can absorb damage." Yes, but think about it this way: if Vegeta had this perfect damage absorption power where he's already super powerful, he can wipe anything out of existence, and he gets stronger the more he gets hit, and there's no limit to it, then he would be unstoppable. He would be unkillable, because no matter what attack they hit him with, he would just get stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger and never be beaten. So it's not very reasonable to make him that OP. So it makes sense the way they did it in the manga. the form, it does get him stronger, but if he gets hit with too much, if he takes on too much damage or too high level of a damage, he still can be unconscious by it. It can still take him out. It's just that his body is more naturally built now to absorb that damage and, add on to his own power. It's just that it still has limitation, which I think is the best way to do it. If we had no limits, it would have been kind of dumb. But we have that. So technically Topo has the perfect one. Like I said, we don't see him explaining that, but he should, since he shown the ability of doing it. So now, why am I saying this? What is the importance of this? Well, this does reveal some interesting concepts for the future. For one, if let's say Vegito truly wants to have a better mastery of Ultra Ego and understand it better, him training with Beerus does help out, but I think it's better to fight against an opponent that has that ability, but is more on his level so he can get a better feel for it. And I will say it's weird, Vegeta's relationship with it, because when Vegeta first obtained Ultra Ego, we thought, like, oh, it's great. But then he revealed to Granola that the way to obtain it is, through the sole purpose of destruction. But he's like, I'm not that type of man anymore. I can't just think about destruction anymore. I have a family, this and that. And when I heard that, I was like, oh, okay, so this means that this is just a one-time showing and he's never going to do it again because he feels like it's not right for him. But then he does it again later on, and we see him with gas, and he did it again. So it's like, are they sticking with it? Hopefully, I do think they should stick with it because that'll make him more powerful and make him more unique. But like he said, he can't fully, dive into that, which would limit him. But whatever. I think the best way for him to learn and get better is to have a fight with Topo. Him to have another rematch against Topo one-on-one. Topo using his God Destruction energy and Vegeta using his. And by doing so, this will help both of them understand the power more, understand each other more, and get stronger and obtain the better power for this. So yeah, I have a feeling, I think they should, and they most possibly will. If the series does come back, I do think that at some point Vegeta to go to the next level with his Ultra Ego will probably meet up with Topo and say, hey, look, I saw you using the God Destruction energy before, and I saw how powerful you got. I've obtained it too now since I trained with Beerus, but I've been hitting a wall in my training. So to, elevate it even higher, I want to fight against you in a sparring match to see not only whoever's the better at it, but also understand it more. And I think Vegeta can learn a lot more from Topo because I think Topo has more of an understanding of it since from what we've seen, he's had it before him, obviously, and he's had it a lot longer, and he does seem to have somewhat of a mastery of it. Still, I want to say a perfected one, like the Goddess of Destruction, but still good enough. I think they can both fight against each other, train with each other, and I think they can both elevate their God of Destruction powers, and who knows where it might end with Vegeta. Also, this is quite interesting because this specifically leads on to, with Beerus and his final fight and how powerful not only Beerus but the other Gods of Destruction is. Because this form that he's using and the power that he's using is the power and the form that these Gods of Destruction will be using at their best, at their peak, when they're going all out. When Beerus is not holding back anymore and he's literally trying to, take out Goku, this is how powerful he will be. So it's quite important for one specific reason, because now this showcases us a little bit of a glimpse of the true power of a God of Destruction and what they can do. What we saw Beerus doing, it was him doing that, what he was doing without even tapping into his Hakai energy, which is his power when he's actually unleashing it. So this just showcases the level of power above it. When people are saying, how much more power can Beerus have? Well, look at how much power Vegeta got, and that was with incomplete form. Beerus has the complete mastery of it. So if Goku fights him, or Vegeta fights him, or both of them, whatever, if they fight him, and he's fighting, and he does go off, when we would realize that he's truly not holding back is when he's using his Hakai energy. And when he uses that, then they're going to be the most dangerous aspect, point when they're fighting him. And this is very important to realize, because this basically means that if Goku and Vegeta really truly want to beat him or, push him to his limit, he has to use his ability, which would make him insanely more powerful. And this made me understand why the Gods of Destruction are so ridiculously powerful. naturally they're already powerful, and then they have this other energy and ability that once when they tap into it, they're even more ridiculous. So Beerus would get far stronger, far faster, more durable, but not only that, he would be hitting all of his attacks, would be obliterating everything in sight, including the guys that are fighting him. And on top of that, that would mean that Beerus would be getting stronger the more he gets hit. So let's say even if Goku or Vegeta or both of them are able to match up to his power or overpower him, he will still be getting stronger. So the more they hit him, the gradually stronger he would be getting. Also, I think that's why Beerus doesn't train as much, because if he does want to get stronger, he just goes into that ability form, gets hit, fights with somebody that's strong, and then gets him stronger. Also, I think that's why he's training Goku and stuff, because he wants Goku and Vegeta to be enough of a legitimate threat that when they do fight and he goes all out, not only does he have a full-on fight and have fun, but also he gets stronger in the process, which will be a win-win situation for him. And for Goku and Vegeta, if they want to beat him, they need to realize that they have to push him to that form and beat that, and the severity of it. And Vegeta obtaining this God Destruction energy will be a very big help. So if we have Goku with the Ultra Instinct, Master Ultra Instinct, you know the Angels of technique, and we have Vegeta with the God of Destruction technique, working side by side to beat him, that will give him better chance, because Beerus also has Ultra Instinct. He has both of those things. So Beerus is really dangerous. Not only is he naturally powerful and has all these other abilities, but he also has the Hakai energy and all that ability. Sorry for that, that's just the ice. He has all that abilities, but he also has Ultra Instinct and can dodge. Obviously not to Goku's degree, but good enough to the point where he can dodge. So Beerus is very dangerous, and this is not just him. This is all the other guys of destruction have all this too with them. So this showcases the difference of power when it comes to the gods of destruction. But they're going a path where now they're obtaining more of that power and at least coming to the foothold of where they are at, and in the fight itself. So that is interesting. This showcases what Beerus can do, because what Vegeta can do, Beerus can do that, but better. So he's going to be tanking those attacks and getting stronger and stronger, and he's going to be even more of a deadly opponent to fight. Also, it does give me a shocking revelation that if Goku and Vegeta do fight him, they have to be prepared to beat him, because if they're not able to beat him, they're gonna get wiped out. Because the way the Hakai energy works is, if you can't handle the attack or get hit by it and get destroyed by it, you're not going to just die. You're not going to be on the ground bleeding out to death. You're going to be wiped out of existence. So for Vegeta and Goku to be able to, handle Beerus or take what he's dishing out towards them, they need to be able to beat him. Not just go toe-to-toe with him, not just match him a little. They need to beat him, because if Beerus hits them with the attack and they're not strong enough, they're getting wiped out of existence. There's no holding back this energy attack. That's why Beerus didn't go in these forms, because if he did, instantly he's going to wipe them out. He can only use this ability against opponents that he's either okay with wiping out, or the opponents are strong enough to handle it. Because if they're not, they're going to get wiped out. So Goku and Vegeta need to be strong enough to beat Beerus. Because if they're not strong enough to beat Beerus, then they're going to be wiped out of existence. This is literally a fight for their own survival. I think this is going to be important why they're going to do this later on. Because if you fight Beerus and this ability can just wipe you out, technically, he can't hold that back. So if he fights against Goku and Vegeta and he beats them, they're done for. They're dead. So they have to literally be stronger than him if they want to fight him. They can't fight him if they're weaker than him. Because if they do, then they're wiped out of existence. You can bring them back by the Super Dragon Balls, but it's an unnecessary thing to do. They should just, I think it's good for them being cautious right now and just training more and more until they get to a level of power. Because right now, if they do fight Beerus and he does unleash the Hakai energy, he would end up wiping them out of existence. So yeah, that's all the stuff I want to talk about Ultra Ego and Hakai energy and all the stuff that we've been shown throughout the series. There's still a lot left we need to learn, and there's still a lot of stuff that we don't know. And I think it's going to be interesting to see what direction they go. So yeah, I want to see more about it and more of explanation, and see how it works, so you can see more about the God of Destruction's power itself. But yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will be uploading a couple more videos today. Maybe one more on this channel and 2 videos on my second channel if I have enough time. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and stay tuned for next time.